Utopia by Sir Thomas More, translated by Ralph Robinson. Foreword by William Morris. Ralph Robinson's translation of More's Utopia would not need any foreword if it were to be looked upon merely as a beautiful book embodying the curious fancies of a great writer and thinker of the period of the Renaissance. No doubt till within the last few years it has been considered by the moderns as nothing more serious than a charming literary exercise, spiced with the interest given to it by the allusions to the history of the time, and by our knowledge of the career of its author. But the change of ideas concerning the best state of a public weal, which, I will venture to say, is the great event of the end of this century, has thrown a fresh light upon the book, so that now to some it seems not so much a regret for days which might have been, as, in its essence, a prediction of a state of society which will be. In short, this work of the scholar and Catholic, of the man who resisted what has seemed to most the progressive movement of his own time, has in our days become a socialist tract, familiar to the meetings and debating rooms of the political party which was but lately like the cloud as big as a man's hand. Doubtless the Utopia is a necessary part of a socialist's library, yet it seems to me that its value as a book for the study of sociology is rather historic than prophetic, and that we socialists should look upon it as a link between the surviving communism of the Middle Ages, become hopeless in More's time and doomed to be soon wholly effaced by the advancing wave of commercial bureaucracy, and the hopeful and practical progressive movement of today. In fact, I think More must be looked upon rather as the last of the old rather than the first of the new. Apart from what was yet alive in him of mediaeval communist tradition, the spirit of association, which amongst other things produced the guilds, and which was strong in the mediaeval Catholic Church itself, other influences were at work to make him take up his parable against the new spirit of his age. The action of the period of transition from mediaeval to commercial society, with all its brutalities, was before his eyes, and though he was not alone in his time in condemning the injustice and cruelty of the revolution which destroyed the peasant life of England and turned it into a grazing farm for the moneyed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?